are a few destinations in Western Australia that are more iconic than Rottnest Island. Generations of locals have travelled over to Rotto to enjoy the pristine beaches and the relative peace and quiet that comes with only a small number of vehicles permitted on the roads. There was a time when I travelled to Rottnest fairly regularly, but that was a long time ago. By the time of this visit, I'd not been there in over 30 years. Why? Well, I guess apathy in part, but also the increasing cost of getting to the island and staying there. Travelling to the island by ferry is the option most people choose, and departures are from Perth City, Fremantle and Hillary's Boat Harbour. 3 different companies operate ferries, and a return ticket will cost around $60 per person from Hillary's, $78 from Perth and $53 from Fremantle. This includes the island admission fee. The increase in the number of upmarket facilities on the island has seen a corresponding rise in the cost of renting accommodation. The cheapest accommodation on the island is a tent campsite. At the time of making this video, that would set you back about $40. Budget shared accommodation starts at around $57 a night, and from there prices rocket up into hundreds of dollars per night. We stayed at Geordie Bay, where a self-contained unit was $300 a night, which is quite a whack in the hip pocket. The first building you encounter as you leave the ferry is the Visitors Centre. Here you can get a map and book tours, and if you're waiting to check into your accommodation and have luggage, then you can hire a locker to hold your bulky bags and cases until the 2 p.m. check-in time. The cost of lockers varies depending on the size, and if the Wi-Fi system is down, you will need coins that can be sourced from the Visitor Centre. Be aware that machines in the locker area do not give change, so make sure you put the correct amount in only. It's only a short walk from the Visitor Centre up into the heart of the main settlement, where you'll find a well-stocked general store and an excellent bakery. Prices for groceries and hot food were not as exorbitant as we'd anticipated, and we managed to have a nice roast chicken lunch with roast vegetables and chips for less than $10 a head. Despite the gates around most eateries and stores that are meant to keep the local quokkas out, you will find that these hungry critters have no problem bypassing these supposed obstacles, and they'll be busy looking for any scraps that have fallen from diners' tables, and some will be begging for food. It's actually illegal to feed the quokkas or to touch them or to interfere with them in any way. Large on-the-spot fines are issued to anyone found ignoring these rules. There are a number of different restaurants available in the settlement, but for whatever reason, the shuttle service ends at 7 p.m, so you need to have your meal and be ready to travel back to any accommodation outside the settlement by that time, or you will be walking or riding a bike back. We think that the service would be much more useful if it ended, say, 9 or 10 p.m. Bike hire on the island is $30 a day. But if you don't fancy putting that much effort into getting around, you can use the local shuttle bus between Kingston, Thompson Bay and Geordie's, or the Rottnest Explorer that does a circuit of the island every 45 minutes. The shuttle is just $3 a day and runs every 30 minutes. The Explorer is a hop-on, hop-off service that you can use to visit a number of different destinations around the island. The ticket is valid for the day and costs $20 per person or $15 for a concession. You can always take your own bike or scooter across on the ferry. That will add to the cost of your ticket. The accommodation we stayed in was fairly old and quite expensive for what it was, but it did have all the basic necessities, and the view was stunning. As we stayed in one of the end units, furthest from the drop-off point, it was a bit of a trudge up the hill with our bags and suitcase, but it isn't really a problem for anyone with at least a moderate level of fitness. Free Wi-Fi is available in most of the settlement areas, but we found signal in the accommodation was a bit dodgy at times. The restaurant at Geordie's Bay is reasonably priced for its main meals, and we found the quality of food to be very good. If you stay out at Geordie's or Fays Bays, then you'll be close to a second general store that's also well stocked and will be able to provide you with most of your needs during your stay. Both stores also sell alcohol. As we were only on the island for one night, there was a lot we didn't get to do and see, including the train ride up to the Oliver Hill gun emplacement and a visit to the basin swimming area. One night really wasn't enough to enjoy all the island has to offer, but the cost of staying longer made it an option we couldn't really take up. Rottnest has a lot to offer, and today seems to be one of the happiest places in all of WA. It does, however, have a dark and troublesome history, as it was one time used as a prison. There is a lot more to the Rottnest story than the lovely tranquil tourist mecca you see here today. This is something we hope to cover in a later video, but if you would like to find out more about the dark history of Rottnest, you can click on the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this look at Rotto and find it useful, please consider subscribing to our channel or even becoming one of our supporters on Patreon. We release a new video every Saturday morning, so we look forward to seeing you back here again to check out what our next destination might be.